Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Academy podcast. Real Estate Academy provides training and education in a more personalized way. Today, we're going to talk with a few guests. In fact, they've already sent us some questions from a recent poll that we launched. And I have 5 questions from agents that range in experience levels. And so our first question is from Amir of Toronto. And Amir asks, Michelle, what is the best way to generate leads? Well, Amir, that is a pretty big question, but I think the first way I'd like to start off by answering that is by saying the system you choose and do is the best one for you. I find that most realtors fail to succeed because of a lack of consistency, and it doesn't mean that they haven't designed a successful plan in terms of how they're going to generate leads and which system they're going to choose, but it's that they fail to actually execute and do that consistently. So that's the first thing that I want to say to that question. Second part to that answer would be you really do have a choice in terms of how you want to generate leads. Usually I like to work with our agents and sort of discuss with them what are their strengths. If they could design this business and they could design a way of generating leads that would feel effortless and natural, what would that look like? Are you a natural networker? Do you like to build relationships? If the answer is yes to any of those, then maybe working by referral is the system that's right for you. Sometimes we have agents that come into the business or join the company and they're a little bit strapped for cash and they don't have much available cash to invest in marketing. And so to those realtors, my recommendation is, well, then let's start with something that doesn't cost you any money. As a new realtor, typically speaking, you do have time on your hands. And so we like to then revert to the more traditional methods of cold calling and door knocking. I think the idea, Amir, behind this is selecting a system that is right for you, that feels right for you, and that you work consistently. Hope that helps. Next question is from Jennifer of Georgina. And Jennifer asks, how do I know if I'm on the right track to reaching my goals? I prospect and follow a schedule, but I'm not sure if what I am doing is working. That's a great question, Jennifer, and I think the best way to answer that would be, have you taken a look at what goals you've set for yourself? So do you have, first of all, an income goal? Have you calculated then what that translates to in terms of transactions? How many transactions do you need to reach that goal? And lastly, when you are working with people, when you are out there generating leads and prospecting, are you getting appointments? Are you speaking to enough people? If you put a baseball batter up to bat and they only have, three chances to bat, not all of them will bat 100%. And so the same thing goes for our business. You need to reach out to the most amount of people in order to maximize the opportunities you have to convert those people to potential appointments. And then from the appointments, you're then hopefully converting them into transactions. Hope that made sense. Next up is Lisa from Richmond Hill. And Lisa says, I'm 5 months into the business and I've tried cold calling and door knocking and online leads, and I'm now giving thought to starting a farming area. Any tips? Well, Lisa, first of all, I want to say that is amazing effort on your part that you've tried all of these different forms of prospecting and lead generation. But the first question I have for you is, are you sticking with one, or are you doing all of them consistently? Or are you one of the errors, if you want to say, that new realtors make are that they do jump from thing to thing and they don't really give it a chance to unfold and for them to learn the skills and to perfect their skills when they're working. And so if you find that you are jumping, 3 weeks of doing cold calling and then you jump to door knocking and then you jump to online leads, then you're really not giving yourself the amount of time you need to build a proper system. If you say that you are doing this consistently and now you are starting to look at a farming area, I would probably say the rule of thumb in the industry is to work about 2 to 3 systems at the same time. And obviously it's best if you start with one perfect that system, and then move on to another one. Farming is a great system to do, but keep in mind that it is one that does require a little bit more time and resources in order to see it become fruitful for you. It's definitely a system that can generate you leads and earn you income and get your name known in a market. And what I love about farming is that you have the opportunity to do everything. You can cold call, you can door knock, you can go to a community event, you can sponsor and network. And so it allows you the variety so that you're not always doing the same thing every single day. Hope that helped. Next we have Jeff from Newmarket. And Jeff says, Michelle, what is the best way to learn scripts? Jeff, I'm so glad you asked that question because scripts to me are such an important part of a successful career in sales. And my take has always been this. It's not that you need to or you have to take a script, memorize it, internalize it, and say it verbatim. I think for me, the way that I've found scripts to be successful are they give you a framework. They give you an idea of what questions to ask and when. And so the best way to learn scripts is through repetition. Start by reading it, start by memorizing it, and then after you've memorized these scripts, I want you to put them down and I want you to stand up in front of a mirror and I want you to say the script and look at yourself. I want you to start analyzing what is your body language saying? Are you smiling? Are your shoulders back? Are you standing up straight? The reason why I ask you to stand is because that's the way that energy and volume flows. If you sit down in your chair and you're hunched over, and now all of a sudden your voice drops and all the energy is sitting in your stomach. And so by standing up, all of a sudden you're lifting that energy. The emotions now can come through the phone as you're speaking, and you deliver your message that much more effectively. The other tip that I like to give our realtors is when you're learning scripts and after you've done your practice and memorization, although I have to say that it's not ever done, it is a skill that you need to consistently be practicing. Try recording yourself. It is always interesting to hear your voice and to see or hear how you sound, and it's not always how we think. And so by recording your voice or calling yourself and leaving a voice message as you would if you were to cold call somebody, you have an opportunity to really listen and tune into what do you sound like? What is the tone of your voice? Do you sound happy? Do you sound down? Do you sound nervous? Are you speaking really fastly? Or do you sound like you're maybe a little bit hesitant? How does your voice come across? Because all of that is going to translate into a successful conversation. And last up, we have a question from Julia from Toronto. And Julia's question is, should I join a team? That has to be probably the most common question I get asked from realtors that are just new to the business. And I think the easy question or the easy way to answer that for you, Julia, is what is it that you're hoping to get from joining a team? There are so many different brokerage models out there right now. You have full service to mid-service to no service. What is it that you're looking for? If you're looking for somebody to support you and hold you accountable and to be around like-minded people who like to collaborate, who provide services to you in terms of education and training and mentorship, then maybe you should be also looking at a full service brokerage while you're also interviewing for a team. There are many, many reasons why people join teams, and some of it comes from perhaps a belief that maybe they can't do it on their own, or they prefer to work with a group. And it's an interesting thing that we're seeing now with a rise and increase in teams. And I was just having this conversation with a colleague the other day, and they asked, well, there's so many teams popping up everywhere, and that just seems to be the trend. It's like they're coming out of real estate school, and that's the first question that they're asking. And I really do think it's a reflection of what the next generation of realtor, is like. And if you take a look at the schooling system, if you just go back to that, portion and isolate it, We used to have to in school, things were very independent. And now, you start talking to students and everything is done based on collaboration and teamwork. And so they're used to having a group of people to work with. And so if that's your preference, then I would definitely say you should start looking at options out there and identifying and, seeing if a team is right for you. The only thing I want to leave you off on that is to say that never just narrow your focus. Keep your options open, have a look at what else is out there, ask the right questions, really identify what your needs are, and then get out there and start making your comparisons. I hope that helps. Well, we are out of time, everyone, and I want to thank you again for joining us, and I hope to hear and see from you next time. Take care.